Welcome to Iraqi Dinar Update, your go-to source for the latest news, expert insights, and real-time developments on Iraq's currency, economy, and financial reforms. Whether you're a long-time investor or just curious about the dinar, you're in the right place. In recent years, Iraq has found itself at a pivotal crossroads, one shaped by decades of struggle, transition, and the slow but steady rise of reform. Amid this evolving backdrop, a quiet but profound movement has begun to take form, drawing the attention of international observers, multinational corporations, and sovereign investors from every continent. At the heart of this development is the National Investment Commission (NIC) of Iraq, a powerful state institution that has become a beacon for foreign direct investment and international cooperation. Yet, what makes this moment in history so compelling is not merely the number of foreign nations being encouraged to invest, but the underlying reasons why such investments are now being made, and why they are being made with growing confidence, even in the absence of a publicly adjusted exchange rate. The current official exchange rate of the Iraqi dinar, held at approximately 1,310 IQD per USD, remains a fixed figure that, on the surface, appears disconnected from the deeper economic developments taking place within the country. To the casual observer or traditional analyst relying solely on nominal figures, this rate might suggest that Iraq's currency is still undervalued, fragile, or unstable. But to those who understand the deeper mechanics of economic reform, sovereign asset valuation, and monetary policy, the truth is far more nuanced and telling. The truth, as many currency analysts, economists, and serious students of the Iraqi dinar have begun to realize, is that the exchange rate currently published by the Central Bank of Iraq, CBI, no longer tells the full story. In fact, it serves as a kind of placeholder, a temporary marker within a broader and far more strategic economic narrative that Iraq is preparing to unveil. The activities of the National Investment Commission are one of the clearest and most underappreciated indicators of this reality. When the NIC publicly invites international investors from hundreds of nations to bring their capital, technology, expertise, and long-term vision into Iraq, it does so with knowledge that extends well beyond surface-level figures. These invitations are not casual or speculative. They are grounded in classified briefings, intergovernmental agreements, and long-term policy frameworks that project where Iraq's economy is headed, not where it currently stands. And therein lies the revelation. No serious investor deploys capital at scale into a country without a reasonable expectation of returns, currency convertibility, and stability. If Iraq were genuinely anchored at an exchange rate that reflected its war-torn past, battered infrastructure, or corruption-ridden reputation, such large-scale foreign participation would remain minimal. Yet the opposite is happening. Billions in foreign investment are being pledged and deployed, not only in oil and gas, but in agriculture, logistics, tourism, fintech, digital banking, green energy, and high-speed rail. To maintain a deeply undervalued currency in such a context would be counterproductive and irrational. Not only would it disincentivize foreign capital inflows, but it would also hinder Iraq's ability to control inflation, manage cross-border trade, and repay its foreign-denominated debt. Moreover, it would place artificial pressure on Iraq's foreign reserves, which are among the most robust in the region, exceeding $100 billion at the time of writing, and increasingly backed by gold, special drawing rights, SDRs, and strategic mineral assets. Given these facts, the argument that the current 1,310 rate is a temporary placeholder, and that a higher value rate is quietly emerging behind the scenes, becomes not only plausible but compelling. This shadow exchange rate, as some have dubbed it, is being reflected in everything from investor behavior to trade pricing, from government budgeting to import licensing. And although not yet formally declared, it has already begun to shape the expectations of the international financial community. One can draw parallels here with other historic currency transitions. For example, when Germany prepared for the introduction of the euro, it first established parity through controlled monetary reforms and bilateral currency agreements that anticipated the eventual exchange rate. Iraq is now walking a similar path, albeit with its own unique challenges and opportunities. But the formula is unmistakable: consistent policy reform, transparent institutional signaling, strategic communication with foreign investors, and phased integration into the global banking architecture. This is why, when someone like the National Investment Commission encourages nations around the world to come invest in Iraq, it is not a random or whimsical gesture. It is part of a strategic symphony being conducted in unison with the Central Bank of Iraq, the Ministry of Finance, and international bodies like the IMF and World Bank. Each investor who accepts this invitation does so with more than faith. They do so with information, access, and preparation. So when a seasoned observer of the Iraqi dinar looks at the 1,310 rate and says, "Obviously not," they are not dismissing reality. They are pointing out the obvious divergence between the *official rate and the *effective rate understood by the market's deepest participants. The daily actions of these participants, buying land, building factories, opening bank branches, creating logistics hubs, training Iraqi engineers, all reflect the anticipation of a coming monetary adjustment that will unleash the true value of Iraq's currency. This process is neither arbitrary nor rushed. The unveiling of the new exchange rate will occur only when all conditions, both technical and psychological, are in place. But every single investment contract signed, every new trade partnership formed, and every digitized banking product launched brings Iraq one step closer to that moment. In essence, the shadow of the new exchange rate is no longer theoretical. It is revealing itself daily through investor behavior, institutional reforms, trade volume growth, and digital banking adoption. It is not being revealed through press releases or sudden declarations, but through the daily logic of capital, which always seeks environments where value is not only created but recognized and protected. This, then, is the core insight for anyone studying the Iraqi dinar. The future is not coming, it is already here, just not evenly distributed. The signs are everywhere for those who are willing to look past outdated headlines and simplistic analyses. Iraq is rising, and with it, the dinar is being reborn, not in secrecy, but in plain sight, through the logic of global investment and the choreography of national reform. So yes, when the NIC calls upon the world to invest, it is not doing so at 1,310. It is doing so at a value that only the fully informed can see, a value that is about to be revealed to all. Thanks for tuning in to Iraqi Dinar Update. If you found this content helpful, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a beat on Iraq's evolving financial landscape. Stay informed and stay ready.